Is Zionism just another racist form of nationalism, oppressing minorities? Is that why some people hate Zionists so much? What does Zion actually mean? What if anti-Zionism is actually a modern disguise for the most ancient and enduring form of racism, anti-Semitism? And what if Britain was guilty of this when the Jews were in their hour of greatest need? The word Zion is an ancient name for Jerusalem, and Zionism means the age-old longing of the Jewish people for the one place on earth that was promised to them as a homeland. That is the theme of the wistful national anthem Hatikvah, the hope. And in 1920, the San Remo Resolution legally defined the land of Israel as a national home for the Jewish people. Even so, you can be a Zionist and also support Palestinian national aspirations, as many Israelis do. So why is Zionism and the idea of a Jewish state singled out for special attack? Shortly before his death, Martin Luther King said to an anti-Zionist student at Harvard University, "When people criticize Zionists, they mean Jews. You're talking anti-Semitism." Ever since the Jews achieved statehood in 1948, after the Holocaust, anti-Semitism has mutated from a religious or racial hatred of individuals to a national hatred. Anti-Zionism goes beyond criticism of Israel's policies to a criticism of its very existence. Sadly, when Britain pioneered this new strain of racism, Israel was nearly stillborn as a result. At San Remo, Britain accepted from its fellow nations a sacred trust of civilization, the mandate to prepare the Jewish people for self-government in Palestine, the ancient land of Israel. Non-Jewish communities were granted civil and religious rights, but political rights of self-determination were reserved for the Jewish people alone in their national home. This meant that Britain was told to facilitate Jewish immigration and close settlement in the land, with the aim of helping the indigenous Jews to reach a majority and so become a Jewish democratic state. Naturally, local Arab Muslims did not like the idea of being a minority under Jewish rule, but it was the anti-Semitic British military administration in 1920 who first suggested to Arab leader Hajj Amin al-Husseini that a violent riot against the Jews might force a change of official policy. This failed, and Britain instilled a civil administration instead. Al-Husseini was given power as the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, hoping to moderate him, but he only strengthened attacks on Jewish communities. After the Hebron massacre of 1929, British authorities chose to exile the victimised and grieving Jewish residents from their ancestral homes, rather than bringing the culprits to justice. Ethnic conflict worsened, but Britain lacked the courage or desire to fulfil its legal duty for the intended Jewish homeland.
In 1939, the British government issued a white paper that would restrict Jewish immigration to their promised homeland to no more than 75,000 over the next 5 years, at a time when hundreds of thousands of Jewish refugees in Europe had been displaced by the Nazis.
Churchill called it a violation of the pledge, abandoning our promise. So just when the Jews of Europe were desperately seeking refuge, Britain shut the doors of their last hope for escape. Even after the war, British policy continued to refuse shiploads of Holocaust survivors, letting thousands drown, imprisoning others, and even returning some to detention camps in Germany, including Bergen-Belsen.
We, as I was told, were sold back to Germany, and most of the ships, the immigrants, were sent to Cyprus, we were the only ones to send back to Germany, because Bevin, the foreign minister of Great Britain.
And when Israel still managed to achieve independence after British rule, it was British officers who led the Jordanian army to attack the newborn state. Clearly, British attitudes towards Israel have improved substantially in the past 70 years. Jeremy Hunt, as UK Foreign Secretary in 2019, even called the 1939 White Paper a black moment or a black mark in our history. Yet the UK has never offered a formal apology to the Jewish people and the State of Israel for our racist, anti-Zionism policies during the British Mandate period and the Holocaust, particularly our 1939 White Paper. Until we do, we will never be able to come to terms with the legacy of our past and move forward into a better future, celebrating the place of the Jewish state among the nations of the world. You can sign the petition for a formal apology via the link on the website.